Good morning, afternoon, and evening, whenever and wherever you are. My name is Hummus28, and today we are taking a look at MiniMancer. Now, MiniMancer is a game. It should be released by the time this video is up, that day being the 15th of November, and this game is being produced by James Flannery. That is correct. The Jamio Flan, the creator himself of Flan's Mod, has created his own standalone game. He came to me and asked if I could do a review of his brand new game. He gave me an early access review copy just to be almost exclusive for the channel. Let's take a look. So jumping right into the options, it's very basic. As you can see, it is a pixel art style. So the only options you could tweak right now is the music volume and the in-game volume. This game was created in Unity, so upon launching the game, it does have a pre-game launcher that will let you tweak the resolution, playing in windowed mode, and configuring all of the keys if you'd like. Let's jump right in, clicking play game. We're going to start a new game, and you can really name it whatever. And I'm starting a new game just so you can basically see the tutorial section. So, welcome to MiniMancer. Click to begin with the tutorial, or press skip below. We're gonna go through. This is the world map, where you can choose which locations to tackle next. Click on the town node to launch the tutorial level. So you click the node, it brings up this pretty small icon / indicator with usually three units, and a launch button. You hit launch and the fight will then begin. As you can see at the top left here, you're given two separate health bars arranged in a melee hit bar. You lose if either of them drop to 0. This bar on the right shows you which wave you are on, 1 of 3, and how many enemies you have killed in each wave, indicated by, it's usually blue. I don't actually remember if it changes color, but as it fills up blue, that shows you how close you are to finishing that wave. The entire fight takes place on this board here. You actually don't do much. You can hold space as indicated here to basically make the time go faster. You can instantly start the wave by hitting the start next wave button. Mouse support, not actually there, except for this one it looks like. You can press and hold the fast forward key with your mouse. Now as you can see in this battlefield here, there are two separate rectangular areas. You have a red zone and a green zone. Anything in the green zone can be attacked by the green archers, while those in the red can only attack in the red melee range. Now, something I've ran into, which may be a bug, not quite sure, it might just be with the copy I have, but as you can see in the tutorial, it says, look like your minions were overwhelmed before the end. No worries though, it was rigged to fail, so now we can learn about team building. But as you can see, I actually did beat all 3 waves, and at the end of each level well, technically they're level and you choose on the world map, you are presented with your unlocks. Now these are units you unlock throughout the game. As you can see, I have some archer dudes, some like bare-fisted brawlers, and like what looks like priests kinda. But as you can see, we've unlocked what looks like 3 different ninjas. And let's take that to basically one of the meaty bits of the game, where you can go in here and skip tutorial here, I can explain it better. Where you come into here and you build your team composition to tackle each level. You have 2 different indicators here that are basically rock, paper, scissors types. Water beats fire, fire beats earth, earth beats air, air beats water, it's a circle. Then you have this one here, holy beats undead, undead beats neutral, and neutral beats holy. Now you can swap out each of these and replace it with whatever you'd like. The tutorial has you toss in a lancer here instead of this brawler character, but one of the main issues I found is unit balancing is quite odd. There are some units that I feel are just flat out better than others, and the whole resistance triangle battle system doesn't really have a big enough part to warrant using those basically advantages. So I'm going to show you a very powerful team comp that I discovered. You just click the ninjas here. So let's see, 1 ninja, 2 ninja, these ninja poisoners, like so, ninja knife slinger, like so. It's all the ninjas. You'd think they aren't that strong, they're actually insanely powerful. Now looking on the left here, you can set the target priority for your ranged. Your options are the furthest enemy, the closest enemy, highest HP, or lowest HP. Now, in general, your ranged units want to target the lowest HP just because they get that DPS out of the way faster. You have a little help button here to basically explain everything. The 3 slot types: melee, support, and ranged, ally groups, the elements, relentless, combo, and zombies. These 3 right here are more in-depth mechanics that are explained later as you unlock those units. You do have these nice filters here that make exploring this entire tree, well, not tree, like unit selection, a lot easier. You can hide locked minions, so as you can see, I can only see the units I've already unlocked. Show all minions, and that turned it off actually. So you can see every unit. As you can see, there are quite a lot, so you can make any kind of unit composition you'd like once you unlock the units. You can sort by neutral, holy, unholy, etc, etc, the different unit types being the 3 of them, and you can rename them. So we're done there. And as you can see, this is the entire world map where you will go around unlocking these other units. As you can see, this South Road has 2 different units here. This slime dungeon has 2 different units there. The Mage Tower entrance has 3, and you're going around the map, basically assaulting each place. One of the gripes I had was you go through, but there's no clear indicator as to what is the end of each one other than finishing it. Like for example, this tower here, obviously you go 1 and then the 2nd floor, and that's the end. But then as for these other ones, it's like, is this one then over here? Is it that one? Is it this flying cloud? This one down here, very simple. It's very straightforward. You either branch off there and then finish that way. This one splits into 2. This one has 3 at the end once again. It's a bit confusing. And I would also like to see some kind of boss mob with basically like a taunt. So all of your ranged units target it regardless of what your preferences are. And the reason I think the ninjas in one group are so powerful is if you jump in, I can show you why. So I'm going to hold space here to fast forward. So there goes the ninjas. They're basically decimating everything. I can actually just keep starting the wave as it happens. So you can see those red slimes are supposed to be tankier. They still melt really fast. And once they actually enter the red zone, those ninjas there just destroy them. They have no chance. And I'll show you why. So one of the biggest gripes I had was unit balancing. Some of the units feel a lot stronger than the other ones. And you'd think that, oh, well, it is a single player game, so as you unlock more units, you're just going to want to toss the weaker ones for the better ones. But a lot of the units I found that you do unlock later on are not really worth their salt. Like this slime cube, it is very tanky, but it attacks every 4 seconds for 15 damage. If it can't kill anything, that means melee units are going to build up and just DPS it down. The reason I found that this all ninja comp is so powerful is 1, these ninja swift blades make 2 melee attacks every half a second for 10 damage. They are quite weak, so you're like, oh well, I don't see the issue there. They're not very strong. That's only like what, 40 DPS? But with 3 of these poison guys, that's 60 damage per hit. These guys make 2 hits every half a second. In 1 second, they deal 4 hits. 10 damage each, so that's 40 base. Then you add 60 per hit, so 60 times another 4 hits, which is 240 on top of the 40 you already have. These guys are dealing 280 damage a second, which melts almost every enemy in the game. There are not many that are very tanky. And seeing as these are melee, you can say, well, it's kind of balanced that way since they can't actually attack until they're in range. But even then, they melt down enemies so quickly that their health pool is barely an issue. And these ninja knife slingers, they throw 2 daggers every 0.75 seconds, which means they get buffed by this full 60 once again, which makes them extremely powerful. I do enjoy the art style. It's very simple, pixel art, very easy to look at, it's easy on the eyes. I love the backgrounds here. As you can see, they're very simplistic, just polygon, and they each match up with whatever level you're playing at. This is the mage tower, so as you can see, there are books for some reason in the back. Unlocked a new mage. As you can see, the ninjas are just tearing these guys apart. Mana blade. And each and every level does have a very different background. And wow, I actually died there. Feels bad, man. That's one time the ninjas have failed me. In the entire campaign, I ran just the ninjas, and I beat about 90% of the campaign. So you run through it. Each level has a different background. Each one has specific music, which I very much like. The music is quite good just to listen to on your own. It's very simple, nothing distracting, just very melodic tunes. And I find that the real meat of this game can be improved upon just with making these unit choices a lot better, a lot stronger. Something I liked, which was one of the support ones right here. This guy, the collector. When all 7 minions are of different elements, they get plus 70% resistance to all damage. That's really nice because it means you include him and you're thinking, okay, I get 70% damage resistance. How can I best make use of that while not stunting my team comp? Because as you can see, with these neutral guys, other than the Ninja Poisoner, there really isn't a lot of synergy other than buffing their double hits. Whereas in each of like all the other classes, like if we look at the Holy filter actually, you can see this guy, when enemies die, all allies with combos get +1 combo. When an enemy dies, heal. These ones are all basically based on combos, so they get even stronger, even faster. The Unholy, I feel, have like the best flavor of them. Basically, you get zombies. When your units die, they respawn as a zombie, which is very nice. It means when they die, you have a second chance basically because they respawn as a zombie. Fire. Oh, I'm still on the support feature, so you didn't see the rest of them. Fire. I like the flavor of these guys. They deal tons of damage, but they're very weak overall. Earth. Very tanky units with AoE attacks, just big units overall. Air, these guys crit, which I thought would be very interesting to have a build around, but in practice it's like kind of hard to win games when your entire strategy is based on luck. And water, these guys are insanely fast. Like look at that, 20 damage every 0.6 seconds. And the buffs you get with them, more attack speed, more AoE damage, chain lightning, very cool. The meat of this game is this whole building your units. The whole meat of this game is putting together these unique unit comps and just beating the entire thing by changing out units, really figuring out what works. But I feel like the game overall is quite too easy. A lot of the basically level can be much harder. There should be an option to go back to already completed levels, but fight it again with, say, enemies get like double damage, or they have double the hit points, double the enemies. You know, fun modifiers like that to really improve the longevity of the game. Overall, some kind of challenge. As I said, there are no bosses per se. Like, there are some levels that are clearly harder than others, but there's no boss mob that has like a unique mechanic that really makes you think like, oh, how can I really conquer this level? Like the first wave has a lot of really weak units, but there's a ton of them, so I need like AoE. But then the second wave has like big tanks with casters behind them, so I need some kind of like good DPS. There's nothing really like that. I found the gameplay itself is quite interesting. It's fun to watch your units just take down these guys without much input. You feel like a commander at the seat just watching your units go at it, but it's lacking some features that I feel could make the game better. For instance, when you unlock units, I wouldn't want to unlock them straight out. Like I would want neutral units. These ones, I would like it if neutral units you basically got as soon as you unlocked them, but the more specialized, you know, the ones that are holy, undead, elemental, it'd be cooler if those ones you could use them, but it costs something like a currency. Each match that you beat, you got like a token and you could unlock a unit. That way you actually can't just blitz through and like just grab whatever unit you want. You'd have to think going forward like, oh, I want to build this kind of team comp, and if you don't have enough money, you just go back, replay a level, grind a bit, you know, add some more. It gives you more stuff to do. And also, this game, it's good, but it doesn't have enough things to do. When I played this myself, let's go back, just to tell you that I'm not lying. Go into game 1. As you can see, I already have everything beaten. By the end of it, this was my comp: the Collector, Cleric, Demon, Queen, a Shield Giant, a Hellborn Warrior, an Avian Spotter, and an Eelkin Berserker. This was pretty powerful. These guys I basically never lost as soon as I put this together, because coupled with the damage resistance, this Hellborn Warrior just destroys anything in melee, and these two together just put out very powerful DPS. This guy targets enemies, making every damage they take a critical hit, which is double. And this guy has a chain attack, which is very good for clearing up weak units. And I went through and I beat the entire map. I had difficulty at this level up here, this one there, that one there, the Dwarven Hall, and this Cloud Castle Roof. Those were the only maps that I had a small issue with. Everything else was pretty straightforward. Just the comp you built at the beginning really only worked for a few levels, and then you built something new and it was pretty much unstoppable for the rest of the game. And as for the longevity of the game, it really needs something to make you go back and play it. Especially when I played this, I wasn't really speed running it. I wasn't min-maxing. I just thought, oh, this is probably gonna work. And oh, I'll just hold space because it's gonna make the game go faster. In total, I beat this game in exactly 49 minutes. It only took me 49 minutes to beat this game. And it was a fun 49 minutes. It was really interesting to unlock everything. That was the most fun I had, unlocking all these units and seeing what they did. Because some of them you're like, Zephyr, it doesn't do damage or it pushes them back. Well, how can I use this? Why is that like interesting? What can that do? This volatile elemental, when it drops below 25% HP, it kills all enemies on the screen. That's really interesting. The entire idea of building this team comp to defeat these waves of enemies is really interesting. Flan had a really good idea. It needs something expanded on. If he can go back and produce an expansion that adds like challenges or being able to go back and fight a level with like modifiers, that'd be great. That's all I want. That would make this game an 8 out of 10 in my mind, because this game right now, it's fun, but it's lacking a lot that I feel could make it really fun rather than flash game fun. This could be, I paid $5 and I had tons of fun with this. Anyways, this is Thomas28 signing off. I'll see you guys next time.